Hello, welcome to GeoAI tutorial number 4. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create image chips for deep learning. In the last 3 videos, I've shown you how to install the Python package and also how to download area imagery, building data, and also how to take a look at the metadata. Once you have the data ready, now we can use that to create image chips for deep learning. So I'm going to show you what we're going to achieve here today in this video. Assume that you already have the area imagery. For example, this is the USDNet imagery that we downloaded from the previous video. When you open that in QGIS, you might notice that it looks a little bit weird because it has 4 spectral bands. So you might need to open this one and then change the transparency band to none so that it's not using the last band for transparency. So this is what it looks like, the high resolution area imagery. We also have the building footprint data, looks like this. You might want to change this one to maybe just the outline color. So I'm going to change to this. Select the simple line. I can change the width to a little bit smaller. Okay, so this is the other 2 data set that we have. And imagine this is something that you want to train the deep learning models. So you have a raster data layer, the original imagery. You have the label, basically corresponding building footprint. So how can we create image chips? Because when you're trying to use deep learning, you need to create, you cannot just feed the entire imagery and also the vector data into the model. You need to create image chips. So basically small type by small type, basically image pairs with the image and the corresponding label. And once you have a lot of those, you can fit into the model to train the model. So how are we going to do that? This is what we're going to show you in this video. It's very simple, just a couple lines of code. You can create the image chips super easy. Okay, next. Let's get into the source code. You go to the GeoAI website. The link is in the video description below. And click examples, image chips. You can run it using Google Colab or you can download it to local computer if you have the GeoAI package installed. So you can just right click, open in new tab. So right now for this one, we're not really using deep learning yet, so you can just use the regular runtime. Next time when we start doing the building extraction and also building the model, then you will need the using the GPU version. So right now it's just fine because just creating image chips. So as Control/, then click this button to install all the packages, and after that you can run step by step. So I've already set it up on my local computer. I'm going to use a VS Code. This is what I usually use to do the software development. Okay, let me clear all the output so they can see the step by step. Here, I'm going to just import the library. It's very simple. All you need is just import GeoAI. That's it. We are going to use 2 sample data set. Is this data set are the one that I showed you earlier. So the first one is just the NAP imagery. The second one is the building footprint. So these 2 data sets are hosted on Hugging Face. After that, we're just going to download the data set to our local computer. Maybe let me delete all of those so that you can see the detail. So I'm going to delete all of those so they can start Scratch. Okay, so it's going to download the imagery and also download the building footprint. So we have the TIFF file on the left here. We also have the GeoJSON file. So this will be the building footprint. Once you have those, I mean, if you're doing programming, if you have desktop GIS, you can open it in desktop GIS, but it would be nice that we can just preview the data in a Jupyter Notebook environment. So what we want to use is just call this function, GeoAI.view imagery. So this one can view any geospatial data, raster data set. So it can be TIFF, it can be PNG, whatever you like. You can set the figure size. So just one line of code. Now we can preview the imagery, right? So this is exactly what we see earlier in QGIS. Similarly, you can also view the vector data. So the vector data is just passing the file path. And whether or not you want to have a base map. So behind the scene, the base map we're using the OpenStreet map. And also you can set an alpha. Alpha basically just the transparency and then the size of the imagery. So basically GeoAI provide those functionality that allow you to take a look at the raster data and vector data very easily. If you want to be fully opaque, you just change to 1, then the imagery should be relatively darker color, right? If you don't need the base map, you can turn the base map into false. Run again. now it will be just a simple the polygon. Okay, so I'm going to turn this one so that we have some background information. So these are the two data set that we have. So for the vector dataset, this is just basically a static map. If you want it to be interactive, you can also call view vector interactive. So under the hood, it's going to use the GeoPandas, the explore function. And so in this way, you can zoom in to see the buildings. When you hover your mouse, you will be able to see the attributes. But we are not loading the imagery here, just the building footprint on top of the open street map. So if this is something you want to see, you can do that just like one line of code. Next, I'm going to show you how to convert vector to raster, because when you are doing deep learning, trying to create image chips, it's usually in the raster format. We did PyTorch doesn't really handle vector data format, geospatial vector data format. So we need to convert to raster. Actually, later you don't need to do it manually, but I'm just showing you. So GeoAI has the functionality allows you to convert raster to vector. So here you can just pass in the file path, right? So here is the GeoTIFF file, the name imagery that we have. Then you just call this vector to raster function, provide the input vector data, and this is the output raster file path. You can also provide the reference raster. So the reference raster is the name imagery that we're going to use. So the reference raster is this one, right? So we're trying to convert this vector data to raster, but because the vector data is using EPSG 4326, so basically just latitude, longitude. This one is using UTM projection. So these two datasets have different projection. And this is very common if you're dealing with geospatial data, trying to do deep learning, you need to make sure that they align with each other. So under the hood, this function is going to basically convert the vector data from WGS84 to UTM projection so that it aligns with the raster, the base map, the raster data. And then when you create the image chips, then you can align them together. Okay, so let's just run this one line of code. It's going to return the result on the left side here. You should be able to find right now the buildings here. So if it, let me see here. Oh, just return as a raster, so it doesn't really show you. But for the output path here, this would be right now the TIFF. Let me show, run this one. Oh yeah, so it's already returned to change as the output path, basically the GeoTIFF file of the building. So it'll be this one, right? So this is the GeoJSON. This one will be the one that we turn into raster dataset. And if you want, you can also open using QGIS. So let me show you quickly here. I'm going to drag this one to QGIS so you can see the detail, right? So we have turned the vector data to raster dataset, just one line of code. You can zoom in, and it's not going to be perfect. As I mentioned, the vector data is in WGS84, so the projection is different. It's going to do some reprojection, and you want to see the shape. It might be a little bit shifted. Also, there's some simplification process, and so, but overall, this looks pretty good. Just one line of code, then we can have this one in the raster format, and with that, you can use traditional other third-party libraries to create image chips if you want to, but the GeoAI package has something even easier that we can just create it just one line of code. So I'm going to show you how to do that. This calling this function GeoAI doc export GeoTIFF tiles. What you need is just passing the imagery. So basically our array imagery, your remote sensing data, you can specify the output directory. So it's going to output all the image chips to this output directory. You can also provide the in-class data. So the in-class data, it can be vector, or it can be raster. It's up to you what data do you have. So in this case, we have the building footprint data. And earlier I showed you how to convert to raster, but this, you don't actually have to. You can just pass in the vector data directly in here. But if you already have the raster data set, you can also pass in your in-class data. So this can be, for example, rows, trees, whatever raster data they have. It's integer data. So that you can use to do classification. You can also specify the tile size, basically the image chips. This would be 512, so 512 pixels by 512 pixels. There's also a stripe parameter. That means the shift, how many pixels you want to shift each time. I will show you the final result and you will have a better understanding Also, there's a buffer radius. So this means for your labels, do you want to have a buffer? Sometimes if your object is a little bit small and you want to basically increase the set a buffer so that the object becomes a little bit larger. So in that way, it doesn't miss some of those buildings. If this is something you want, you can certainly set a buffer, how many pixels you want to buffer surrounding the label. So basically surrounding all these building labels in here. The last parameter is where if you want to create an overview of the basically the tiles. So just run this one and you see the progress bar here, how many we are going to generate. It also provides you some basic information, showing you, for example, this is our area imagery we have is EPSG 26911. How many pixels? Basically, how many columns by rows. So basically, the width and the height. Also, the bounding boxes. This will be the vector data. So EPSG 4326, and it's doing the reprojection, converting the building footprints from this one to this one. Also, it's going to tell you if the footprint has the class label. Basically, you have a column called class. Sometimes if it may not have, it's going to use all of those. But in this case, the building already have different type of buildings. So you can let me show you here. Open maybe the building footprint, and I can open the attribute table so they can take a look here. Right, so this one, the building actually has a class, but many of those actually don't have anything. That might be problematic. So before you use this one for creating training data, you might want to assign these labels. So if your deep learning algorithm is trying to predict different building classes, you need to make sure these kind of all have values. Right now, we're not doing that yet, but in the future, we need to do some pre-processing of the dataset before you try to use that for deep learning. Okay, so once we have this, we can take a look at the result. So it's under the output directory here. So because we specify the output directory to store all this information. So let's show you here. There's overview. So you can open the overview just to show you all the tiles. These are basically small tile by small tile. So each tile, you're going to have an imagery. You're going to have the corresponding label. So in total, we have 36 image tiles. Inside the folder here, we have the images, we have the labels, and also the annotations. So let's look at the images. So these are all the images that we have, tile, and then you're going to have a sequence 0, 0, 0, 0, and each one is one tile. Also in the corresponding label here, right now it looks all black, but when you open it, because the value is like 0, 1, 2, so it's very low value compared to 255, so it looks black. But let me show you. We can open this one in QGIS here. So let me turn off this, right? So these are the original data that we have, the raster imagery, and also the building label. After we creating the image chips, we should have something like this. So let me just drag here. I'm going to maybe drag maybe 4. Okay. So I have 4 images, and I'm also going to drag 4 labels. So you can see the corresponding images and labels. All right. And let me, here on the left side, let me collapse all the tiles. And I'm also going to turn all the layer off. Okay. So let's look at the first tile. Okay. By the way, this one has 4 spectral bands, so you might need to turn on the transparency to none. Otherwise, it looks a little bit weird. Okay. Once you have this, now we can turn on the other one. So it will be tile 0, right? So this will be the corresponding label, the building label. So you can zoom in to see more details here. And again, right. So similarly, I can turn on tile 1. Okay, maybe it'll be this one. Okay, so this will be the building. Again, let me double check here. Turn this one to none. Okay, so pay attention closely. You will see the tile actually they have overlap, right? So the tile size we set 512 pixels, and we set the strike step basically 256. So it's half of the imagery. So in this way, right, the tile looks like this, and then half, and then half. So in this way, all your image chips have some overlap, so that you don't miss some buildings. and all the corresponding image labels, you also have the building footprint labels, right? So this is all one by one. Let me turn off this one, you see, right? And the nice thing about this is all the images still have georeference information. They are all GeoTIFF format. If you go back to the directory here, they are all GeoTIFF. And it's super useful because we want to keep the georeference. So like later, if we do inference, we want to overlay on, for example, some base map or something like that. Or I can show you, I can drag the Google map here, and you can see the building's footprint like exactly at this location. Right? Or you can overlay the building footprint from the over2 maps dataset. So this is how you can create the image chips. Another thing I want to mention is besides the image chips, there's also an annotation directory. Inside here, the annotation also has some information. So I can show you, I can open this one to show you what kind of information is inside. All right, so here, let me zoom in a little bit. So basically for each object, for each buildings, you also gonna have annotations. This one gonna show you the bounding box. And this is sometimes very useful to deep learning because you have the image chips and you want to train the deep learning algorithm. They need to know where's the bounding box for that object. So for each object, we have the basically, but these are not georeference information. These are basically just the row and column number of each image tile because it's 512 by 512. So all the numbers will be smaller than 512. But it's still very useful because for every object, it creates the annotation. So this can be useful later when we're doing the training the deep learning algorithm. But we're not going to use this right now. I'm just showing you when you use this export GeoTIFF tiles function, it's going to create these three directories. And then you have the images, you have the labels, you have the annotation, you also have the overview. And that's it. So one line of code, we have the data ready to be fed into deep learning models. And lastly, I'm going to show you a couple of functions. You can preview the image chips. I already show you how to open that using QGIS, but you can also just use the view image function in GeoAI. Then you can also view that directly. So you don't necessarily need to use desktop.js. I can also view one particular image tile. For example, this is the one in the upper left corner. So 512 by 512. And you have the corresponding label here, view imagery. So this is the buildings for this image tile. I can switch to another one, something like this here. All right, so this is the original image tile, and this will be the corresponding label. So you have all the handy functions for you to not just creating image chips, but you can also verify them. You can view the imagery. You can view the original raster imagery. You can also view the vector data. So everything just one line code. Okay, so that's all I want to show you in this video. And in the next video, we're going to start doing building footprint extraction using pre-trained models. So stay tuned for next video. See you. Take care. Bye-bye.